Hey guys, so I decided since I already have the engine bay open, because I got to go ahead and replace something. Actually, got to replace a camshaft position sensor all the way down in the abyss down there. Thought I might as well, while this is cooling down, might as well do a little bit of a review on the catch can that I ended up installing on this 2013 Subaru Impreza. So the reason why I went ahead and installed it, I noticed kind of when I was doing some car work, I was over here cleaning out the map, not map sensor. No, actually, yeah, it would be the mass airflow sensor. I was cleaning that, and I had noticed, kind of snaking back through here, my PCV. The PCV exhaust, I noticed there was a fair amount of oil. I don't know if that's common for the newer Subarus that use the 0W, I think 0W20. I don't know if that's common. It seemed like a fair amount. I checked the PCV valve, it seemed fine, made the rattle and everything like that. So I don't know if that's normal. The oil consumption doesn't seem to be up. I checked it to make sure, and that really hasn't, it doesn't seem to be consuming a lot of oil. But it was enough that I felt that, it's not great, and there was enough too where I pulled this off, there's oil on it, and then also what was kind of concerning, of course it's sitting right above it, is the manifold pressure sensor had some oil on it as well. So I wanted to kind of keep that off, and of course, if I'm correct, I think this model year, I don't know if they're direct injector or not, but regardless, anything I can do to keep, less junk, less oil, less everything going into the engine, the better and cleaner, keep it and whatnot. So I went ahead and decided to get a catch can, which I have located right there. Now, what I don't understand is why, especially when you look at, auto parts stores and some of, the professional ones, they're like $200 or $300 for a freaking catch can. And really, some of those aren't any better than the eBay special, which that's what this one is right here. They're just a can, and basically have an inlet and outlet. Now I understand some have baffles in it, and filters and different stuff like that. That it makes sense that they would cost more, to produce, and cost more. And there's of course certain race ones that are for high performance, and definitely non turbo vehicles, that definitely, of course, need a catch can more than, something like this that's naturally aspirated. But it's just ridiculous, because some of them, like I said, they're just like this one, where it's just a can. It's literally just a billet aluminum cylinder with, little side tube on it and a bung on the bottom of it, and you got your inlet and your outlet. That's all it is, and they'll be like $100. I don't know, it just makes no sense. Like, you could literally build one easily. I probably, if I get another one, I'll probably just build one. Yeah, just because it's literally a metal cylinder, and then you can put some material in there to kind of slow everything down. And even with just the metal cylinder, I even noticed, now I did do some modification to it, a little bit slight, even with just the metal cylinder itself, I was getting some oil in it. Of course, you have a change of pressure between, this is 3/8 tubing compared to 2 or 3 inches, and then, so you have a pressure change. So you're going to collect oil regardless. It just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, let me get into kind of what I did here. So down in the Subaru, if we go down here, kind of see, so that is our exhaust for our PCV. Our intake for the PCV is down, not over here, I think that's right here. So that's actually our intake. That's our intake for the positive crankcase ventilation. And then here is our exhaust going back into the intake. Like I said, I don't like that Subaru has it. Like, here is your pressure sensor. It has a membrane. I don't think the oil is going to affect it too much, and it's made to be there. But that's your pressure sensor, and then there's your exhaust with oil in it and everything from the PCV. So not the greatest. But basically what I did was I took all the way down there where the PCB is, routed it all the way back, and I mean, it probably doesn't super matter, especially since this is not a baffled catch can, where kind of put it. I guess it was angled to make more sense, but I kind of put it so it would kind of hit the sidewall first of the can, and then exit through the top. Now, probably doesn't matter a whole lot because it's not baffled, but it's worth it. And then having it go back, snake back around, actually go down and back up, so it actually snakes under the intake manifold, actually comes back in. Is that excessive? Yeah, I mean, I probably don't need that much tubing, but the more time I can give between that hot vapor of oil, some combustion, the more time I can give that, the more time it has to condense, whatever crud's in that, the more time it has to, kind of leave everything before it enters back into the system. I mean, so far it's been great. I haven't had any issues. Like I said, the catch can itself is nothing more than just a billet can, billet aluminum container. Now, that's one thing I don't like about this one, is it is just sealed. I don't know if you can really tell. I just have the zip tie on there because it's kind of, the tubing's holding it enough. There's quite a bit of force from the tubing being pretty rigid. And then I just have 2 zip ties here that hold it. The bracket that came with it was junk. You'd be better off just making your own bracket. You can't really see, maybe I can kind of tilt it. On the very bottom, there's a little metal plug, and that's all it is. It's completely sealed metal plug. What I did, and what a lot of people do with the cheap ones, is you just put I'm trying to think of these stainless steel, like steel wool, like not the really thin, like wire steel wool, but like your pot scrubber. What I did is I kind of fluffed it up and I kind of just fed it in to the bottom of there, just to give it some kind of media to create more turbulence in there. I mean, I don't know how much that's really affecting because it's not really baffled. There's no down tube in here. When you look through here, it's just right here. There's no down tube. There's no nothing. If you had a down tube, I think it'd be way more efficient. Like I said, building one would make a lot more sense because putting that down tube on there would increase your efficiency a ton with catching anything that's going through there. I mean, it's already started to catch stuff. I've only had this on here probably 300-400 miles. There's already starting to, this used to be clear, and you can already see there's that little oil film starting to already kind of, I don't think there's any fluid in there. Yeah, I mean, there's not enough for it to show on the kind of this little like pipette thing on the side here yet, but I mean, it's been catching stuff. It's doing something. It's definitely doing something, which is good. And not bad either. I only paid, with no shipping, $12 for that, so not bad. Like I said, I'd rather have one of those that kind of come apart, where the kind of screws open and you can put whatever you want in there. But to be honest, you would save yourself a lot of money just building one out of some kind of metal container. It'd be better. One thing I will say I did hate though, and especially on these eBay specials you get with these, is the tubing is absolute junk. The tubing that comes with it. Now this is 3/8 Gates tubing, automotive, specifically PCV, positive crankcase tubing. I think I got a spool of like 50 feet of it for like $20. For some reason, auto stores don't have that much, and for what I wanted, it was fairly cheap. And I have enough, if I have another car or whatever, or want to reroute it, to do whatever. So can't complain there. But the tubing with 98% of them, unless you get the higher end ones, is like aquarium, just like cheap aquarium tubing that once the engine heats up, it instantaneously collapses on itself. It just can't handle that heat, and the vacuum, it just collapses. I tried it just to see what would happen, and it just, within a couple minutes, just the heat just collapsed it completely, and then, you're not doing anything, and it's not venting properly, and, it's just not working. So definitely, if you get one of these, the first thing you do is get tubing, proper automotive tubing. Don't go, I don't know why I decided that was a great idea. I went to Lowe's and got some high temp, what they called was high temp tubing, and that of course failed as well. But this Gates tubing, absolutely no issue, of course, because it's made for temperature, made for the slight vacuum created by the PCV system. But yeah, I mean, I've been really I've been liking it so far. I mean, I haven't had it on for long. I'll probably do another video once I put a couple thousand, maybe 4,000 or so, and just kind of see what's collected. Like I said, it's already collected some, and not even been on there very long. So I'm hoping at least it's doing something positive to the engine. But yeah, so I'll probably do an update video, kind of show what's going. One other thing I did was it's kind of flopping around because the way I have it. I guess I could put it back there, but I don't know. I kind of want it toward the front of the engine, kind of got some airflow. I mean, it doesn't have any fins on or anything to kind of cool it down, which actually wouldn't be a bad idea. I haven't seen that yet. There you go. Next idea. Catch can with heat fins. I mean, did I really need to put it all the way out here? No. But, I mean, go big or go home. It's not hurting anything. Like I said, the one thing I did do was kind of zip tie, because on the manifold right here, I did zip tie this so it doesn't move, because it was kind of sitting on the alternator and kind of sitting, and I didn't want to get sucked in and, kind of chomped up or sit on anything hotter than it needed to be. But yeah, just, that's what I have. So I'll do an update video. Thanks for watching.